tell me if the resolution is acceptable for you. So if you see the text, or say like when we go to slides, if you see everything clearly, or say if you see my virtual machines like this, if you see them clearly and can read everything. Just confirm yes or no, or I need to lower the resolution or
Yes.
adjust something.
It's readable.
Readable. Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right. So let's continue with introduction just a little bit. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on intros, just to be sure everyone is prepared for the course. So all the virtual machines are running and configured. There's a checklist for me what to do, what's to be done, say during 5 days. Quite a short list from one point of view. Could be too complicated for somebody else, but there is the schedule. That's the schedule. So this is how we plan. Spending our time. It's like working by Prague time, and this is it. So we will have like 4 sessions a day, which could be also extended in case you are ready to spend a little bit more time, say to 5:30, maybe 6 p.m. This depends. Also, we will go in sessions 1.5 hour, 1.5 hour, 1.5 hour, 1.5 hour. And we will have 2 coffee breaks and 1 big break in the middle of the training every day. So this is the daily schedule. This is the schedule by days. Just mark it in general. It's not necessary to follow the schedule by 100%, because you see, I'd like to share my experience with you, and also I expect you to share your experience with me as well, or with everybody else as well. So this is not like, I don't expect this to be one-way lecture. I also would like to hear from you as well. Talking about the virtual machines, so let me check my schema. That's it. This is it. So this is the schema of our training. We have 9 virtual machines prepared, and I have the list of services in this network and a list of exercises to be performed during attacks. Please don't expect that we will hack Facebook or Google or whatever else. This is the very beginning, and we will begin from basics of hacking. So I don't expect you will become the professional pen tester in 5 days. It never happens like this. This is the many years are required for this, I'd say. Also about virtual machines. So all of my virtual machines are running in Oracle VirtualBox, like what you see right now on the screen. And there is the router and 3 servers in DMZ network, 3 clients in CEHv13 network, and 2 attacker machines. So we'll use both Windows and Kali machine to perform attacks. Talking about student computers I have prepared for you. So I have control over your sessions, so I can connect to your session and see what you're doing, and help you, assist you in case something goes wrong. So I suggest you using microphones, because I'm not looking at the text all the time at the chat. So in case you have a question or something isn't working, please tell me. In many cases, exercises are interconnected. So if you perform first attack, like offline attack, and take complete control over the client machine, then we will use Mimikatz to expand to the network, and this exercise depends on the previous one. And golden ticket attack is dependent on pass the hash attack, and so on. So I suggest you asking questions in case something is not right, something missed, or anything. And in case some exercise is not working, so just please tell me so I can assist you in some way. Well, we're not going. Yeah,
Question: should we change the password for the remote desktop connection, or should
that's
we
the good
keep
question. I'd say not necessary. Not
Okay.
necessary. Yeah. Yeah. Basically, we have the same password for all virtual machines. I mean, on my hypervisors, but I consider the risk is not as high. And in case something goes wrong, you just tell me that someone has hacked into my Hyper-V. And we will fix it. So not necessary. Uh, well, talking about training material, I will go through instructor slides. You have your own material, which is a little bit different. What I mean is like I have only 1,500 of pages in this material. Your material is much bigger. It's like almost 4,000 pages, just the reading. And lab guide is like almost 1,000 of pages more. So this is very different thing. We will go according to my plan, and I'd say you will learn a lot yourself at home. You will perform exercises, some exercises which I have prepared for you are unique in terms of CH course. So what exercise you see in here should be a little bit different. So I suggest you writing down in case you see something interesting, unusual, or maybe you have questions for later time, save it in your notepad to be asked just a little bit later. So it's not necessary for me to repeat all the exercises from the course because you will have your time to repeat everything at home. But also, I will do what? I'll try to explain you what is the general idea of hacking framework, how actually they do that. And some exercises you will see are not in the book. So this is clear. But also at the same time, it's not necessary to repeat all the exercises after me. Not necessary. Main idea is to understand what's required for exam, what's required for real life hacking, and to understand the general idea of what's going on. Well, basically, since we have thousands of pages in the material, possibly I will scroll down a lot of material, just simply emphasizing on what's the most important. I will tell you. So don't be afraid to miss anything. That's not so bad. But if you see that I'm skipping some material just simply because we have thousands of pages, so that's why I cannot just simply go slide by slide. We will spend time on exercises. And the last day, I hope we will go through exam questions. Maybe I will also prepare the practical exam for you so you could try like practical hacking in a virtual environment like you will see it in the real exam. Okay, so there are 20 modules in this course. We will not take everything. Just for instance, we will not do wireless networks. We can talk about this, yeah, because you will have questions on exam about ARPCAP, AirMon, AirCrack commands in Linux. Yeah, but I'm not gonna hack my wireless network in here, not this time. Also, not mobile platforms, but say not necessary, will perform social engineering against like office secretary. We will not send spoofed emails to the real world, but I will show you how this could be done in general. Okay, so we'll take almost all modules, and I'll present you exercise for most of modules. CH is CH course is extremely fast. So again, please ask questions. The first day could be like a little bit relaxed. The second day should be much more loaded with exercise. The third day seems to be a nightmare for some students, and so on. So the complexity of exercise will grow by time. So please follow me. You need some prerequisites. Yeah, we will do quite a lot about TCP/IP protocol suite. So I expect you to have some command line skills. I expect you to have some IP network skills. If you miss something, just tell me and I'll explain in details. I expect you to have some operating system management experience, like copying files shouldn't be the problem for you in command line. We will not do what you see in here because I have my own virtualized environment. And we have a set of operating systems. Let me explain the idea. Why sometimes I have very old operating systems in here. Because Windows Server 2003 actually is required to run DHCP to perform SMB brute force attack. And the most important role of the server is DNS and SMTP POP. So this is the mail server. So you just simply can forget about 2003 and write here mail server. So that's why I have it, because the internal component which is built into 2003 is quite lightweight, simple, and exactly fits our requirements. Or say this one is not necessarily like 2016. This is the SQL Server. It runs Microsoft SQL. So we'll perform SQL injection attacks against this SQL Server. This one is the web server, which comes from EC Council, by the way, with vulnerable web application. And also I took this one from EC Council, just simply a little bit modified them. MakerTik is the router with the updated version of operating system. Have you ever used MakerTik? Do you know what's that?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. This is our local Latvian brand, but I know that it's widely used in Europe and US and Asia as well. So just virtualized MakerTik, which you could also download from their official website and have the demo version, fully functional demo version, just simply limited to 1 megabit per second. This one is not simply Windows Server 2008. It contains some specific vulnerability I would like to show you. Few vulnerabilities, actually. And the most important about this one is the domain controller, Active Directory domain controller. This one is 32-bit Windows 7. Yeah, I know this is old one, but it exactly fits our demos of how, say, Mimikatz works, how pass the hash attack works, with no additional, say, preparation, which is required for modern systems. And also it has few specific vulnerabilities, which I would like to show you how it works. And this is the domain member. So we log into a domain with this workstation. This workstation just simply isolated and standalone machine, and this is it. Goes to This one comes from EC Council as well. I have not modified it. It contains few attack tools pre-installed. And Kali, I have the version 2023 and would not like updating it because every time you update Kali, something stops working. So that's why I stuck with one specific version at the moment, which works well for our course. Okay, back to material. We will discuss exam on Friday. There is no reason to talk about this right now. Just simply, okay, number of questions. You will see the questions themselves on Friday. First module, yeah, I will stop by several slides which consider to be most important because you may be asked on exam about that. This slide is important. And talking about elements of information security, well, in most cases, we talk about CIA threat, such as confidentiality, integrity, availability, but you will also see that authenticity and non-repudiation could be quite important and could be the target of attacks. You will see this during the lecture, just the general idea. Please put a note on this slide that this is important for exam because you'll be asked on those terms. Yeah, the classification of attacks is also something which will be asked on exam. Like, what's the difference between passive attacks and active attacks? In many cases, this is quite simple. If you just simply sniff the network with no modifying traffic, no alteration of packets, just simply sniff the network, this could be considered as passive attack. Or if you Google about your victim, this is passive attack. Active, if you visit your victim facility, such as if you go to the building with the purpose to check the door locks, to check the video surveillance system, to see it yourself. So this could be considered as active attack. If you perform DNS spoofing, such as spoofing names and substitute your own IP addresses, this is also active man-in-the-middle attack. So also could mark this as important for exam. Hacking, I would say, is like utilizing operating system or application functionality in a non-default way, which is not intended by developer. And there's that. So hacker, who is the hacker? Is just simply the person who knows quite a lot about how the system works, and this person is able to utilize some specific hidden features of the system, of application, or maybe network protocol to get to hack value. The next question could be, what actually hack value is, and so I will end this one. So hacker is the knowledgeable person which possesses the excellent computer skills and sometimes also social skills, so-called soft skills. If you want to convince your victim to perform some actions, to do something for you, you need to have some soft skills as well. Well, so yeah, this could be important for exam. They may ask you about this, about classification of hackers. Like, for me, I'm script kiddie. I download something from the web, try to apply to my system. I see it works. I'm happy. A little bit more different classification is here. Like white hat is someone good person who works for good to protect the systems from attacks. Black hat is a little bit different guy. consider it to be evil guy in the network. And gray hats, also kind of interesting guys who maybe work as white hat by the day and black hat by the night, or say they utilize their skills to protect their own facilities from attacks. But also they utilize their skills to spy on users, to achieve their own goals in their networks. Also, it's worth mentioning hacktivists, politically or socially motivated individuals. You see, what's the dangerous? That it's not necessary for an attacker to be a knowledgeable person. They just need to put a will into this, and they collect the group of knowledgeable persons. Like, okay, I'm not as good, say, in some kind of hacking. I will call my friend. And I'll say, just for instance, just for political instance, Donald Trump presents some new taxes. Okay, good. Let's attack him. Let's attack his Twitter or whatever website. I'm not as knowledgeable to do that, but I will call my friends and I will present some motivation for them. So hacktivist, in many cases, already presents in companies like insiders, or sometimes they work from outside and they represent good social engineering skills to make it happen. Yeah. Let's go. The key word in here is ethical. What's the difference of ethical? Is like you need to have the contract to perform penetration test. It's like it's not called hacking anymore. It's penetration test. To perform penetration test, you need the permission from a resource owner. It's not the same as you go to Tesco and talk to a cashier and she lets you, okay, check my cash machine. No, this is not the same. You need to have the contract, written contract with an owner of this Tesco, just for example, yeah? And you will be limited in many ways, like in the scope of attack, in tools. Your attack should not be destructive, for instance. You will see some examples of denial of service attacks, like you type a keystroke and the victim's computer dies. So this, in many cases, not allowed during ethical hacking. You just simply are permitted to show the company owner that, okay, this vulnerability exists, but you don't want it to be executed. Or say, if you perform non-ethical hacking, you're not limited in your physical locations, for example. If I want to hack into the company, could be I will follow the employees. I will figure out where is their home residence, and I will attack via their home wireless network. In ethical hacking, this is not allowed. You're limited with the scope of hacking, such as if you're only permitted to perform pen test of website, so this is it. You're only limited to a website. If you're limited to some specific facility, such some buildings in Prague, so you're not allowed to move to Ostrava or whatever. So that's a key part of ethical hacking. And you could also mark the slide important for exam because you'll be asked on exam about those concepts. Also, the good question is why penetration testing is necessary. That's very simple, also a very complicated thing. In my companies, many times it was like I decline the offer of penetration test. It's necessary, I know, But what's more important, to have the capability to mitigate the discovered vulnerabilities. If the first penetration test presents you like 100 vulnerabilities in your network, so what? What are you going to do next? This needs to be resulted in fixing security holes, fixing procedures, installing patches, configuring firewalls, and so on. If you don't have the workforce for this, if you don't have the human hours for this, so this is useless. So actually, in many cases, you need to perform pen test twice. So the first time you perform the simple test and see how many vulnerabilities are discovered. And then you need to repeat this test in half a year, for example, or maybe this could be annual pen test. Like you perform it every year, and the organization needs to do something about this, not just simply watch it like, okay, we have 100 vulnerabilities. The next year we have 200 vulnerabilities. Yeah, cool, good result. You need to do something about this. By you, I mean the organization. Artificial intelligence. Let me tell you the truth. I went through the material and figured out that in many cases, they use ChatGPT to create scripts, to specify switches for Nmap, for instance, but maybe to create some good translation based on some local language model of some specific phishing email. But it's not like you order artificial intelligence, hack this victim, and this is done. No, it's not. It doesn't work like that. Currently, we only communicate with AI with the purpose to make it simpler, to just simply simplify the process of script creation, just for instance. Yes. So you could figure out like, I need a script which will perform this type of scanning and then deploying this type of malware and so on. The publicly available AI will not deploy malware for you. In most cases, publicly available AIs are limited in this. So that's why in my environment, I see that some guys trying to deploy their own local LLMs. They need some specifically powerful PCs, but they could achieve this. Sometimes if you cannot afford the powerful PC with many video cards for this, okay, that's bad. But again, artificial intelligence does not exist in this world in the moment. Maybe you will see this in a year or two, maybe three. But currently, AI is just the assistance of creating scripts and commands. In many cases, I have figured out that it just simply mixes things, even with simple ideas. So I don't believe this really works. But it could be cost effective when you create scripts. Yeah. This is the typical framework of what we do in CEHv penetration tests. Well, there are steps need to be performed, very simple steps. First of all, you perform reconnaissance of your victim. You footprint your victim. You figure out as much possible information about your victim. Good. Then you perform network scanning. You figure out how many hosts are there, how many ports are open, what services are located behind those ports. Then you could try vulnerabilities against those services and so on. But if you can manage to gain access, like limited user, You need to escalate privileges to admin or system account, and then you need to maintain your access, such as deploy some malware or not necessarily malware, the remote command prompt, the remote shell, to be able to return back to the system just a bit later. You also need to clear tracks of your attack, such as security lock, for example. You need to stop CM system from working, disable some firewall rules, and so on. But what's also one of the most important parts, what I don't see in here, let me do that. You do it in cycles. If you can manage to get into some server, you have totally new point of view on the system from different angle. And possibly you need to rescan once again to perform reconnaissance once again until you do it many times and hack the whole system completely. Hacking in this case is not just simply, okay, I got into this web server, I'm happy. No, this is not like that. The question, what you see next from this server? It's like, if you get back to my picture of the course, if you can manage to get to the main controller, or to workstation, then if you perform scanning from workstation, you figure out more. You can get to the main controller. If you can get to the main controller, maybe some more horizons will be open for you from this domain controller. Maybe that's why this process happens in cycles. Cyber kill chain methodology is on defensive part. Since your attack takes place in multiple steps, the attacker could be stopped at any not any time, let's say at any point of this attack. The good firewall could prevent delivery of malware to the victim, or say good malware prevention system also could stop the attacker from deploying command control center in the victim's network. So basically, the idea is, you will see it a little bit later, if you perform the protection of your network according to defense in depth strategy, you could stop the attacker at many points. And the main idea of this, you cannot just simply install firewall and say, I'm secure. I have installed firewall. This is it. So I'm done. This is not possible. And now there's the defense in depth. So as you might see, everything begins with policies, procedures, and awareness. Policies mostly designed for users, like users must do this and are not permitted to do that. Like, you're not permitted to write your password on the piece of paper and glue to the screen. That's the policy. Procedures, in many cases, are designed for IT personnel, such as how do you create new user account? How do you assign permission to, say, to access to file server, to SQL database, and so on? Or the most, like I'd say, dangerous procedure, which is mostly missed in many companies, is offboarding. When somebody leaves the company, how do you disable their access to company resources? So this is about procedures and awareness. You need to perform training of IT staff or maybe end users, management, and so on. Without training, in many cases, most of this is useless. Only then you discuss physical protection, such as, do you need to lock server room with electronic lock or just physical lock, or do you need to install camera or some specific fences and so on? Do you need to protect switch ports? What do you do with, say, physical servers or workstations? Do you install TPM chip into workstations? The next is quite disputable question, like what is the perimeter? What do you think? What is the network perimeter at the moment? Nowadays, not at the moment, but just nowadays. What is the network perimeter? What is it? Is it here or there or whatever? Give me some idea. Okay, it's everywhere, almost everywhere. If I use my mobile phone to access company data, so this is the part of perimeter. If I use, say, my laptop to access company data, this is part of perimeter. If I use my home PC to access company's data because of remote work, this also already part of perimeter. And then it could be the good question, what actually internal network is? What's the difference between perimeter and the internal network? Sometimes it's quite mixed and cannot be distinguished one from another. So you need to pay attention to this. And zero trust strategy could be the good idea of how to treat the perimeter and internal network. Then it comes to host security, like I have installed the firewall and I'm happy. I have installed the antivirus product on my PC and I'm happy. This is not true and never was. You need to perform a complicated set of actions to make your host secure. You'll see. Application. In many cases, infrastructure is quite secure, such as encrypted protocols, maybe highly secure servers, the good firewall, and so on. Application contains vulnerabilities such as SQL injection or cross-site scripting injection vulnerability, and nobody cares. Or developers develop this application for 20 years and they are unable to fix everything, all the security holes at the moment. So application in many cases is that open door for attackers, the application, not the infrastructure. And the last part is data. The data actually, in many cases, is the hack value. The admin password is not the hack value. What's the hack value on email server? Of course, that's email. What's the hack value on SQL server? Data, such as database. What's the hack value on file server? User files, and so on. So data must be encrypted at rest, encrypted in transit. Data must be protected with access permissions, ACLs, access control list, and so on. It could be audited as well. So anyway, the general idea remains the same. You cannot just simply install the firewall or antivirus and you're happy. No, it never works. Risk. I don't expect this to be asked on exam, exactly this part. But the question, why there is no totally secure company around? Because it's expensive. Security is expensive. And most companies draw the bar like this, and they say everything above this bar needs to be implemented. Everything below this bar, we don't have money for this. We don't have work for this. We don't have capabilities for this. And that's why some part of the company maybe considered, okay, that is the low risk. I will Google this picture. Low risk, high impact. Pictures. And exactly this picture is a good one. So some risks have low probability and low impact. If somebody steals like my cashier's account, okay, it could be done, but the probability is not as high because cashier only logs in with their account on their PC, and this is it. We don't use this account to access important databases. And the impact is not as big. But what's important in here, like everybody understands what's that, but I'd say a lot of businesses underestimate this part. Risk is not as high. Okay, in the fire in my server room, the probability is not as high, considering we have installed gas systems, alarms, and everything. But in case our servers burn in fire, the impact is very high, and the company could be closed because of that. So that's why you estimate the risk, you estimate the impact, and then you estimate how much money needs to be deployed to your server room to double the capability, for instance, to install the secondary server room. In many cases, companies underestimate risks and only cover high risks. And this is it. So that's why attacks could be quite successful in here. I'm skipping this. This is not something to be asked on exam. At least I don't recognize it as the material for exam, but except this one, incident management. This is important not for exam, but for real life. In case some incident happens, somebody needs to take control over the incident and figure out if this is a problem or just simply single incident. Is it the accident or not? Well, and somebody needs to react. In case an email comes stating that account has been locked out, account of admin locked out, what do you do next? Do you handle this incident in some way, or just simply, just simple single lockout, let it go? We don't care, maybe next time. So that's the question. I have tried some tools to use, for example, machine learning to prevent cyber attacks. Figured out that the most important idea of attack prevention is tools never create processes. If you don't have the processes in your company, tools never help. Like you can buy like nano cloud 3W XXX firewall for your network. If nobody is able to handle it, so no reason to spend money. Even machine learning, it flouts you with false positives. By the way, false positive, false negative, something to be asked on exam. And you never react. So machine learning doesn't work for you. You just simply are flooded with events, flooded with warnings or something, and you never tune up the engine of this machine, of this IDS system, for example. So if you don't have time to do this, you don't have a knowledgeable person to do this, you don't have decision maker for this, it will be gone. Let me explain the idea of some standards. You don't need to learn standards at the moment for this first exam, but you may be asked an exam. Like on my exam, I had the question, like according to PCI DSS, how frequently you need to change password? The answer was 90 days. Because PCI DSS says 90 days, and then you need to change the password. How do I know? I just simply know, because I have worked in PCI industry before, but this is the totally separate rocket science, and we're not going to discuss this in the course, and course itself never discusses this. I just simply would like to warn you that questions like that may appear on your exam about different standards as well. But the most important standards, like for real life, could be, well, this is American standard, as I might remember, health industry. Okay, if you work for health industry, this could be important for you as well. Or say DMCA basically works in Europe, or GDPR works in Europe. And the most modern standard, which is not discussed in here, should be NIS2, which currently is the subject to national laws across the Europe. And we also say get prepared for this law in our country. When you classify some enterprises as important, critical infrastructure, and then you need to perform some specific actions such as check your backups, send reports to authorities, to install some CM systems, IDS systems, and have detections to be presented for authorities, and so on. So you need to know that this standard exists. Basically, that's it for introduction, and I'm ready to go to footprinting reconnaissance. Could you please tell me if you have tried your virtual machines, if they work, if everything works? Let's do it all together. So first, I've launched router. So this is router, and I've logged in as admin and password 123. Issued the command of IP address print and figured out that I have 3 networks connected to my router. I could also try pinging, say 8888, to make sure it works. So yeah, it works. Later, when you boot up servers, you could ping servers to make sure your virtual network works. Please take your time checking router and then boot up mail server, because it's DNS and DHCP as well. You could basically boot both mail and domain controller. The main controller is dependent on email server because it transfers DNS zones and asks for IP addresses via DHCP protocol. I mean DHCP relay.
Peter, can I ask?
Yeah, sure.
I can't just log in into the router.
Okay, what does it tell you?
Login is admin. Everything
Admin.
lowercase.
Yes.
Okay.
Password.
And password should be 123, I suppose.
Yeah.
Okay.
What does it tell you?
Okay, then 123, enter, and then nothing. I just need to log in again.
Me too. It's the same for me.
Mm-hmm. Let me check. So, Yitka, you're on what computer? Student 2, probably. I will check your PC.
4092.
Yeah, that's correct. So you could accept my connection. Right. Could you please tell me if you type digits on accountant keyboard? I will try to log in my. You know what?
A password on numeric keyboard.
Okay, let me do what? I will take control over the session. Okay. Click it to not to ask. Admin. 1, 2, 3. I'm in.
So I don't know what I did wrong.
I don't remember how to log off. Okay. System reboot. Yes, just in case. We will see.
Well, maybe you have different keyboard setup because
Yeah.
we have Czech keyboards and the numbers are different on English.
That could be a good question. So type in login admin.
But Peter, I've already checked it if it's keyboard or not, and
Yeah.
I'm just writing there 123, but it still doesn't work.
All right. Oh, oops. Oh, I see. Try now. Admin. Enter. So you're in. Okay. What?
For me, it's in keyboard. The numeric keyboard is not working.
Just in case, you could specify keyboard in here, soft keyboard. So you can also try this. I'm disconnecting. I'm not controlling your session anymore. Okay, I will drop down. So, who else experiencing problems? Mr. College, I don't see your name, Jay.
Jakub.
Jakub as well. Okay,
Yeah, sorry for that.
So you also received my PC, right?
Yeah, I have that problem that I can't log in.
Okay. Shadow your session. Session 2, session 3. Control. Consent count. All right, so type 123 as the password. Oh, as the login name. I will see if you type digit. Okay, good. Admin, type admin. Enter. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Okay, let me do that. I will type. Let me do what? Just to check. There is the message. There was the message.
Yeah, there was
about
something failed there or something like
Yeah.
that.
So let me do what? Power off this PC, and I will show you how to have backup. You go to your PC, you go to drive D. Oops, I've dropped the wrong window. You go to your PC, drive D. There are sources of your virtual machines. So copy and paste it to the C drive VHD VM router. Paste. Place. And let's try it once again. Okay, that's it. And right control, please memorize that right control releases the mouse pointer. Okay, let's try with somebody else as well. Let's try mail server. If router works for everybody, please log into mail server. And the password was this one. That's 0 in the middle and $2 signs. Tell me if something is not working. Well, any success, please.
Ah, yes, I'm in.
That's good.
Me as well.
And domain controller. And then you could try pinging. Thank you. Then you could try pinging from domain controller. Check IP configuration and ping 1020.0203. So you will ping in between domain controller and email server. Like this. You could also try pinging the internet. Ping 8888. Oh, doesn't work. Okay. Wow. Now it's everything good. So we have connectivity between two VLANs and the internet. Very good. Works for you.
Peter's, can
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say that again, but I have a problem.
All right.
Sorry.
All right. Type password in the username field.
I've just done it.
And doesn't work?
Nope.
Okay. $.
Okay, we'll try it. No.
Type password in the username. Completely. No, not one. Just simply password. Like this. Let me try. Okay, now it works. This is quite normal situation. You need to get used for those crazy passwords and everything's gonna be okay. Next you could,
Can
yeah.
you help me also? I can't log into mail server. I can't to make login appear.
Right control, delete. Right control, just simply right control, okay? Not control delete, but right control delete.
No, I'm trying. It's not working.
All right.
Right control delete nothing, and Ctrl Alt delete it.
Oh, no. Central delete is on your PC. Okay, do what? Let me try. Right control delete, it works for me. Okay. You could also do what? Input keyword, insert control delete. Try this.
Thank you.
No, I'm waiting for the password.
It's 0 or O?
0. Type it in the username, so you will see if it works.
Ctrl V is not working. I can't paste it. I don't know.
Yeah. So type it in username. Check if you can type it in the username.
Dollar is not working as I know it. I don't know what keyboard this is.
Okay, you could do what? Input, keyboard, soft keyboard. Go ahead.
What should I do with this panel?
Okay, let me show you. Stop it. Let me show you. So I'll erase everything. That's first. Then I'm typing capital P. Is it capital? Yeah. Capital P. Dollar. W. 0 RD. No. Okay, I will type it in username. Capital P. Dollar. W 0 RD. Should be like that. Interesting if a paste will work in here. No. Stop. Now try again. Or use soft keyboard. It's here.
Ne, já se poseru už.
Let me try. It's here. The keyboard is still here. No. The second one was not $sign. The second $sign was 4. No.
Where is the keyboard?
It's still here. Look at my screen.
I don't
It's
see.
here.
Tak počkej, já si to vyzkoušet. Ne. Takhle.
You see, you need to specify shift every time. Shift 4, Shift 4. That's funny.
Oof.
It's some sticky key. Let me click. Okay. Okay, it's done.
Thank you. It's horrible.
I don't know if you need to
And
change the password.
I will need this keyboard all the time. Yeah. I can't.
Any chance for you to have English keyboard? No.
I will learn with this. Okay, but
All right.
it is for me more comfortable, of course.
All right. It'll be like that. So that's why we are trying this. Okay, so if you have managed to launch SQL and web, you could also in parallel launch victim and client. And then in victim machine, you could try dedude, which is located on taskbar or desktop, you will see. So please boot up all the virtual machines, maybe with the exception of attacker machines, and make sure, yeah, this is here in here with password of password1. And then, so you log in as this user and run dude. Then click connect and you will see if it works, the network works. And I'm waiting for your reports.
Peter, and when I'm starting other virtual machines, does it depend on the order of the virtual machines? Because you said that firstly I need to start the router. Of course, it's understandable, but then it doesn't matter, I suppose.
There are DNS packets in here and DHCP packets in here, in between two machines. So the victim and client are dynamic, and also two attacker machines dynamic. So they may receive DHCP from DC, which retranslates from mail server. So this is relay, and this is the true DHCP server. So that's the dependency.
Okay, so if I understand, so firstly router, then mail, then DC, and then the rest.
And then the rest, yeah. So you could begin with this part, SQL and web. They're also dependent on each other. Web reads data from SQL in general.
Okay, thank you.
No worries, we are right on time. So we have 5 minutes to get it in order, and then we'll have coffee break. So everything is totally fine. I'm spying on Miroslav. Hello. You could launch web and SQL. In general, it's going well. Good. Then in a minute, you could try Attacker and Kali.
And Peter, the password for DC is
the same complicated stuff with dollars.
Okay. So the same one, but without one.
Without one, yeah. Just simply password 1 is for Peter, which is domain user.
Okay, I see.
I will draw it on the screen anyway.
Okay.
And also for those students who are ready, please log into Kali to make sure it works for you as well.
Now it seems that my machine somehow is freezing.
Let me check.
I can't.
You cannot move mouse pointer or right control. Press right control. You have right control, like this one, right control.
I don't know where Elton is.
I've pressed right control right now.
I can't click anything.
I see.
Now it's moving. Now. Now maybe it's okay. It will be okay.
You need to resolve issues with your keyboard, I say. Maybe keyboard layout. It's not necessarily the physical keyboard, but keyboard layout.
Okay, what next? Sech.
Log into victim machine. Log in to victim.
This.
Open it wider.
Which one? This?
Victim machine is here. Just open it wider to see it. Good. Password 1. Just simply password 1. With capital P. And so we don't need to activate anything. And check the dude on the desktop. Here, just simply OK. This displays the options of the computer on the screen. Now the dude is the right, no, it's to the left, the red icon, the dude. Red icon, yeah, good. It will log in automatically. You could click connect if you want, but it's already logging on. You see the connection is here. It connects to the router and reads the system data from it. Get back to victim machine. Victim. Yeah. Let it log in till the very end, and I want to see everything green. It works. It downloads already. Just simply takes some time. Open it full screen. Should be fine. Good. So everything is up and running on your side.
And what next?
Kali, log into Kali to make sure it works. Kali.
Mm.
Okay, so all the virtual machines are running for you. You're able to log in. You know how to do this. Now the issue is like right control. You need to resolve this one. So if you click router, it locks your keyboard. And by pressing right control, you release the mouse. Like this. So I'm clicking. Now please find right control and press it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. No, to se frizuje.
It's not freezing. It never releases your right control. So need to resolve issues with keyboard anyway.
But I click right control and nothing happens.
All right.
Nothing happens. It's not see mouse. Now right click.
Okay, I have pressed. So
no.
I have pressed right control. I have pressed. Need to figure out. Yeah.
Maybe the English.
Okay, you don't do what? Just don't go into router the next time. Let it be somewhere on the taskbar, and this is it. Let it work in the taskbar. So you will survive in this case. All right, so in case everybody is ready, we can have the coffee break. That was good beginning, and we will continue footprinting module after the coffee break, say in 20 minutes. You okay?
Okay, Peter.
Thank you.
So in case you need assistance, just type in the chat maybe, I don't know, because I will go to another room.
Peter?
Yeah.
Can I ask before we start?
Sure.
Just how to check that all VMs are connected?
First, go to victim machine.
Okay.
And make sure it shows all green in DUT. So DUT is logged in. It's logging in at the moment. You see it on the bottom.
Like getting stuff or
yes.
Stuff. And how long does it usually take?
Up to 2 minutes.
Okay.
Sorry, if it's orange, does it mean anything special?
Yeah, like some protocol is not available, or let me check. Yeah, I see orange. Like it doesn't receive some SNMP data. But, well, it happens.
Oh, okay. And the access to the internet, which I have in red, is it necessary or?
Should present for some exercises. Like when you Google something, some pictures, internet, it will be necessary. But not necessary for most of exercise. Some exercise could be performed on physical machine as well, because physical machine has the internet.
Yeah. Okay.
Like if we perform NS lookup, we can do it from physical machine as well.
And Peter, it was just green, but now it's orange. So should I do anything with that, or just leave it like it is?
Look at this. So if you right-click settings, you'll see how many protocols are enabled for this machine. For me, pink is just simply enough in this case. Should be good.
Okay, thank you.
Now I've also the internet in green because I selected different Ethernet interface set during the configuration of the virtual machine.
Okay, what is now? What's the first network card on your router right now?
Yeah, I had the physical or for the cable connection first, and now I select the Wi-Fi interface.
All right. So basically, what we typically do is the first one is NAT. So in NAT, it selects any connection available. But if you would like to specify bridged to some specific card, you could also do this. Okay. Both are good.
Anyway, now it's everything green, also the machines which were orange before.
Good. Right, we can continue if you're ready. Any chance to go? No? Yes? Because I see only two of you in here. So nobody accepted. Okay, good. Let's go then. So reconnaissance is when you try to footprint your victim and find as much possible information about your victim. This could be the company, organization, enterprise, person, whatever. Again, passive versus active reconnaissance, when you interact with your victim or not. What exactly we would like to find out during footprinting? Information about organization structure, such as the names of employees, telephone numbers of employees of company, email addresses, physical locations, internet connections, and everything. What's exposed to the web, maybe from this organization, or maybe not necessarily web. Physical attacks are also quite common when somebody gets to your building and injects the specific device into the network. It's also a way to get into network information, such as all the IP addresses, domain names, who is records, like to figure out who's responsible for what domain name, connections between IP addresses and names, and so on. System information, well, this could be kinda part of footprinting, because usernames and passwords may be part of enumeration module just a little bit later, but still sometimes you can find publicly available information about this. Even if you figure out that the name of the email address of your victim is, say, Pierre at some company, and you may figure out that this is their login name to the system. To Office 365, why not? So in many cases, the email address is also the login name for cloud services. Location web service is interesting because if they use some Cloudflare, okay, this is one possible attack vector. If they host their web service on premises, This is totally different attack vector. How do you find out this information? From search engines. Okay, let me show you an example. If somebody is serious about me and would like to figure out my, say, date of birth, phone number, physical address, they may Google something about this. And then pictures. Okay, there are some pictures. Then maybe what? You know, I'm located in Latvia. Oh, email and phone number. Let me check. No. That's from. This is from LinkedIn. Okay. So what's interesting about this specific Rocket Search, Rocket Reach website? You dump information from LinkedIn without visiting LinkedIn. Or say, you know that I'm located in Latvia and Latvian phone code is 371. Let's check. And exactly, you will figure out my phone number and email address just simply by Googling. So that's an example of how they find the information. That's even more. So when I Google the first request, this is my boss, I'd say, the company CEO. Okay, good. Now you see that sometimes you see my relations to some guys, like this is my attorney-in-law, this is my IT entrepreneur, this is my classes, delivering CH, and so on. So you could dump a lot of valuable information just simply from Google, in this case, or LinkedIn, or Facebook. That's quite a lot, I see. Well, talking about companies and DNS names. Let me check if I have some exercise. Yeah. As you might know, Miroslav is an owner of the domain name of nh.cz. Okay, good. You could Google about this, figure out the phone numbers, figure out IP addresses, maybe. I will do a little bit different thing. I'm going to lookup. So I will perform DNS footprinting. And you could repeat this exercise together with me, just maybe if you want with your own company or your own domain name or whatever. So in command line, I'm going to NSLOOKUP. And typically I request 3 things, maybe 4. Okay, 3 things from DNS. First is set query name server and the domain name such as nh.cz. So by this, I have figured out who is hosting NHCZ DNS domain name. 3 servers. Then I could specify some of the servers, such as select server ns.1bit.cz, and let me try dumping the whole zone of NHCZ, ls nh.cz. Okay, refuse to transfer the zone. Maybe the second server, ns1bit.org. Cannot connect. 1bit.eu. Cannot connect. Something not right. I will do it in one more tab. NSLOOKUP, set query name server, query name server, nh.cz. Okay. The last one. The second one is not resolving. The last one. Server NS 1 bit is that. Now it switches with zone NHCZ. Well, both servers refuse to give me information on DNS zone content. Let me show you an example of successful DNS domain dump. In my virtual machines, I'm going to attacker. Also, I will show you the domain controller. So this one is the domain controller, which is running few DNS zones, specifically 3 specific DNS zones such as CH local and Windows and T.lv. Okay, from attacker machine, I go to NS lookup. Look up. List zone, because I'm connected to that target server already. List zone, Windows and T.lv. This could be some good result. Or list zone ch.local. And that's the content of this zone. There are two zones presented, two types of zones presented in this demo. This is typically example of external zone. Could you please tell me what so interesting I have discovered in this response? Any ideas, please?
That there will be probably 3 servers, Office, SQL, and Web Server.
At least 3 servers, that's correct. And that's even more, 2 subnets. So I see the subnet 172.20 and 10.20. So by this, even when I am located in the subnet 172.20, I have figured out that one more subnet exists, 10.20.0. From the second response, I see much more. Typically, they name .local some Active Directory domains, because in some older books, Microsoft has recommended to create the separate Active Directory zone .local. Okay, good. So I figured out all the hosts in this Active Directory. In real-world network, say, just for instance, I'm working for some company who has 100 physical locations across the country. And by dumping the zone, you could figure out everything about all 100 locations. This company has a little bit less than 2,000 hosts in their network. So by this, you will figure out all the subnets and the type of hosts based on their names. And that's even more. I see the direct pointer to underscore MSDC zone, which contains Active Directory information about sites, domain controllers, and so on. So by dumping the DNS zone from the main controller, you could discover the whole structure of the enterprise with all physical locations and internal IP addresses, sometimes with external IP addresses as well. This is very typical configuration. Question is, why I have failed with NHCZ but succeeded with this demo? Right-click zone properties. You will see that the configuration allows zone transfer to any server. This is not typical configuration, but it happens in maybe 5 to 10% of zones. Even 5%, the probability of success is quite good. So sometimes it's worth trying. And even if zone transfers are only allowed to specified servers, such as two servers exchange data, CHmail and domain controller, CHDC, you could sniff this traffic to figure out the content of the zone sometimes, but not this time. The general idea is that dumping data from DNS could be, say, interesting. What do you do if zone is configured to not allow zone transfers? So let me do what? Only to all name servers, not to the public. And now I cannot list this zone. It's denied. So I cannot dump the content of the zone. So I have few more possibilities to do this. Let's go to Kali. Oh, first, could you please repeat this exercise? Was it hard, complicated, or something? Shall I draw the list of commands? Let me do it. So on attacker, you go to NS lookup. You type like ls Windows and TLV, ls ch.local, and enjoy results. And then we will go to the next exercise. Tell me if you succeeded or failed.
Well, I succeeded just partly. I cannot download the Windows NT zone. I don't know, maybe there's some misconfiguration on the server, but...
Do you do this on attacker machine?
Yes. But the CEH local works, but I don't know.
Okay, at least this one.
Same situation here.
Interesting why, but okay. Possibly the image placed on my OneDrive could be a little bit different from this one. But in general, you have received good result. So you see the difference. So next, if I cannot dump the zone content directly, I can try to guess the names. So I will perform dictionary attack against the zone. For this, I'm going to Kali. On Kali machine, I log in as Kali. I go to command line, sudo su Kali, and ready to continue. Waiting for your readiness. Tell me if you're ready.
Yeah, ready.
Okay, good. Okay, good.
Ready.
All right. So
Ready.
I'm trying to do this slowly, but in case you still miss something, please tell me, because this is the very first day. We need to synchronize our speed. Okay, so in USR folder and bin folder, there's the command DNS map. So this is what I'm doing. I'm doing DNS map. And then you need to specify the domain zone and the word list and result. You see, I can specify the domain zone such as Windows and T.lv. The question, if I have the word list, could you please check Kali, specifically on the desktop, if you have some word list on your desktop? What is it? Because, yeah, I have it in here. Do you have this file on your desktop? You could try opening it and checking what's inside. Do you have it? No? Let's create.
No.
That's good, because That's good opportunity to create this file. Just create. Right-click, new file. Create document, empty file. Type your words. Few words like what could be the most popular DNS domain names, host names, and save as word list on your desktop.
Done.
So you specify the switch -w and specify the path to this word list, and then specify the result file. This file should not exist. You just simply, it will be created. So try this command, DNS map. Please note all the special characters like the location, the path to word list and result. Tell me if that was quick, if you succeeded, if that was quick, and so on.
Yeah, this command isn't on my computer, so
DNS map?
yeah.
A second.
Yeah, the same.
It should be quite simple. Kali DNS map missing. Word lists, yeah.
It should be in the repository, but because this is outdated version, the repository doesn't work. So this might be a problem.
That's bad. That's bad. All right. I will update the image on OneDrive later today. Anyway, there are few options to download the latest Kali version, to perform update. This may take hours. As I might remember, there was so simple way just to clone DNS map. Just let me check. Well, this might take time. I don't expect this to be quick in it. Maybe this one, maybe this one. Okay, I will show you from my Kali, and then we'll fix it. I will just simply synchronize my Kali with OneDrive, and you will re-download this version to your PCs. Anyway, W desktop word list txt and result 2025 whatever txt. Good. So the result is this one. 3W host was discovered, Office host was discovered, and mail host was discovered. So that's the result of dictionary attack. The only question actually is, where do you get the good dictionary? There are a few options for this. First, you can download the actual dictionary from the internet. Second option, we have few built-in dictionaries in Kali, such as FastTrack, text file in Kali built-in. And there was one more word list. Let me check. Could be this one, could be that one, mostly for passwords. And RACU, which is zipped by default, so you just type gunzip and RACU zip, and it will be unzipped to this folder. This is the bigger one, medium one, and maybe quick one for DNS map. Just an example, where do you get word lists? Or say, okay, DNS map, I will type, no. We search here, word lists, FastTrack, txt, and the result from Kali desktop plugins. As you might see, the result is a little bit different. So SQL is discovered, which previously was not discovered in here. So different word lists may present different results. Again, your word list should be targeted specific idea, specific attack, such as passwords, host names, and so on. There are brute forcers or dictionary attack tools on both Kali and Windows. On Windows, there is a tool which is called DNS Resolver. Just an idea of different kind of tools. And next, I continue with NSLOOKUP, or one more option is the command dig. Dig and address like Windows and t.lv at what server 172.20.208. And dig tries to dump as much possible information about this DNS zone. So this is it. Dig has specific switches, such as any record, maybe, no, not so interesting. I will continue with NSLOOKUP for you to understand what other types of records could be interesting. So still, I'm connected to 1-bit.cz server, dumping an h.cz zone. I cannot dump it. I can perform brute force, but I suppose Miroslav will not allow me to do this. Or say he's not the owner of this 1-bit org, so I'm not permitted to attack 1-bit org, even though attackers through all the world do it all the time. What I'm going to do next, just simply query some values. Set query mail exchanger in HCZ. Come on. I will relog on. So NSLOOKUP Set query name server already did it before. Now mail exchanger and nh.cz zone. What I have figured out is the address of email server of nhcz domain zone. So if you have the email address of Miroslav Kucka at nhcz, this is about him. So there are two IP addresses for mail server, preference 0, best match, MX10 1BCZ. This one, preferred server. Okay, good. I'm doing this with the purpose of spoofing email. So the next query to DNS, you could check DNSSEC, the KIM records. I will check very simple record SPF. Could you please tell me what was SPF about? Set query text nhcz. I will also open one more tab, maybe one separate window, and let's look it up. Now I'm checking the real world, not your virtual system, the real world. So server 8888, set query mail exchanger, Windows in CLV, and set query text, Windows in CLV. As you might see, responses are a little bit different. Talking about mail exchanger, just simply have one record instead of two. Well, it happens. But what's good, if I fail with the first one, I could try the second one. In this case, I only have one opportunity to connect to email server. The second is the query of text is this one, which basically returns SOA record. What about Windows NT LV in the real world? You see the response is totally different, and text, specific text, is this one. Do you know what SPF record is designed for? Any idea, please?
I think it's made related to domain controller. It will pass some information to the clients.
Okay, so you don't know? That's okay. This is a list of servers authorized to send an email from this domain. If you send email from Windows NTLV domain in real world, you are only permitted to do this from SPF protection Outlook.com, and nothing else is accepted. If you try to spoof my email and send something from the name of peer Windows NTLV, you will fail, because SPF record in my domain name says that only this one could be the authoritative server to sending email from. There are many different options, such as NHLV. In Latvian NH division, you see a list of IP addresses and DNS names which are authorized to send an email from, but this is which ruins everything. Minus all means no one else is accepted. In this record, those are definitely authorized, and everybody else subject to discussion. Maybe yes, maybe not. In an HCZ example, there is no TXT record at all. So nothing stops me, totally nothing stops me from sending email message from Miroslav name. Let's give it a try. I will close this window. Can I? Okay, good. So first, I will find, to look legitimate, I will find something from Miroslav. Give me a second. I will prepare a folder or something. To minimize impact. Like, all right, so that's my email. And that is the message from Miroslav. Oh, that's totally different domain name. NHProxyZ. Sorry, let me test it. Well, still I have good results. Now I see that NHProxyZ is located on Office 365. Good. I see that it has authorized mass mailer in here, but what's important is here. Tilde all means I can spoof mail. So what I do need in here, I need the good fields from incoming message. The signature, display name, and the email address. Good. So when you have this, you can spoof much easier. And of course, yeah, one more thing is the subject. Now what I'm gonna do next is I'm opening MKCZ website. From name. This could be advanced, by the way, but I will do it in a simple way. From name, I'm copying this name from Miroslav email message. Two, here at Windows and TLV, subject. And the subject, give me a second, unknown number. I'm sorry, so the subject will be copied from the real message. That's enough. Hello, Pierre. Students have said that they all have good PCs able to drive the CH course. Well, I will also add the signature to this message. And regards, I understand that this is plain text, not HTML, because Miroslav writes in HTML with formatting. But for the purpose of the demonstration, I will not spend time trying to make it in order. That's okay. I'm human, of course. What? Go. Because I'm using this too frequently. Go. We will see. We will see in minutes if this works. And while it's working, let me explain the idea from command line. For this, I need telnet. telnet. And yes, I haven't figured out the email server of Miroslav. Give me a second. I will figure out mail exchanger. Oh. Not yet. Not yet. I'm still waiting for incoming message. Okay. So in any lookup, I request mail exchanger, set query mail exchanger, nhproc, CZ. So mail protection Outlook call. That's it. I'm still checking for incoming messages. Yes. Hello, Peter. Seem to have sat there. Have good PCs. So this is the Swift message, and that one was legitimate. Oh no, not this one. Previous one. This one. Well, question: do you recognize that the origin is like legitimate? I have sent an email message from Miroslav Kutska name. Do you see this? Okay, good. The only thing, like HTML, I was too lazy to copy paste in HTML. But in many cases, this is not a problem. Just copy paste and go. And now, can I convince my victim that that was legitimate message? Sometimes this depends. So it was recognized as junk, but still, as you might know, if somebody drops you the message and you miss it, they ask you to check junk, right? Yeah. Okay. Now let me check one more thing, properties of the message, file properties. I'll copy paste this to Notepad. So this is the properties of this message, of the legitimate one. And in this case, file properties, Control-A copy of fake message. Soft fail. As you might see, the SPF record has failed, yes, but it soft failed, not hard failed, because of that expression, tilde all, because of that. If there was no any SPF record at all, nothing stops me at all. Yeah, this one. Soft fail. That's the only thing. Basically, what else? What is MK? Yeah, received from MK. And lots of messages come from Outlook.com, the original ones. Mark Pod, Kim known, and sender IP is good one, so authenticated. Because he's using Outlook from Office 365. Well, back to command line. Now I know the mail exchanger of Miroslav mail server. So next telnet this address to port 25. I'm not sure if this is going to work from my PC. but I will check name resolution. Yeah, name resolution is good. Something limits me on my PC, I will try from hypervisor. Say, or from, maybe from some other machine, this one. And let's look up. Set query mail exchanger. NH proxy Z. Oh, do I have telnet in here? I don't remember. Let me check if I have telnet installed as feature on this Windows server. Add feature telnet client. I don't know why they have removed it by default, but this is just an executable. Okay, done. Now this is it, and telnet, this address. Select. Okay, Outlook.com. 25. Maybe there is some delay because I will check more SMTP servers, you will see. This could be the limitation on my workstation. It doesn't open from my subnet. I will do it from another subnet, just well, telnet chmail.windows.nt.lv 25. I see there's the limitation on my firewall. That's the reason. Check. Let me think if I can disable firewall at the moment. No. Telnet 10.20.02.03.25. Oh yeah, just simple name resolution, bad name resolution. Hello, Windows NT LV. Mail from, for example, Miroslav at Windows NT.lv. Recipient 2 here at error. Okay, Peter T at Windows NT.lv. Data. Hello, Peter. How are you doing? And dot. So this is what we do from command line. It's not necessary for you to know the full SMTP language at the moment. I just wanted to warn you that on exam, they may ask you about SMTP commands. You will see it in your result, or in your book, not result, in your book. You will see how DNS footprinting is performed using what commands, such as recipient2, verify, explain. So basic SMTP commands you need to know, such as mail from, recipient2, verify, explain. Those are commands by using which you could enumerate user accounts. Sometimes some commands work, such as verify or explain, or recipient2 may accept for everyone or checks for user accounts. Say you type recipient2 Peter and it says, okay, go. Or you type recipient2 Miroslav. And it may state like user does not exist. Some email service can do this. And this is how you can perform brute force of user accounts, of email addresses. One of possible ways. Of course, the best way is to sniff the network. You will see names and all the conversation. This is just an example of what we still do with DNS and SMTP. That's enough for DNS, basically. I hope you got the idea. So in DNS, we request set query, name server, set query, mail exchanger, set query text, and then, for example, nhprog.cz, and yes, ls, list zone, and domain name. This is what you just saw in DNS. As the result, you see that spoofing mail messages is, if possible, it's possible if domain is configured in the wrong way. Let's go next. This is what's called Google operators. And you may be asked on exam on some of them, of operators. Let me show you an example, which I don't expect to work today, because it stopped working somewhere in May, but I want to try. A minute, I will Google something interesting. Give me a second. I will find out the string. Yeah, let me explain the idea first. I will log into web server. So I need a web server. This is my web server. You could navigate to this web server if you want to try. And the address is powergym.com/powergym. This is what I type in URL. Oh, no power theme, not my powergym.com. This is how it looks like. So this is our CEHv13 web server designed to be hacked. What is this? MF. You could try this one if you want, because this is not the part of the exercise. I can log in with username sum and password test, but this is not required. I'm going to trainers and search for some trainer, for example, Alex Ador. This is again faked website, so I can do whatever search. And the result is SQL response. By this, I have figured out that this web server connects to SQL. Could it be Microsoft SQL, MS SQL, or Postgre, whatever. It doesn't matter. Basically, you know this from the very beginning, that this website looks like something which connects to SQL. As you might remember from the schema, this is the web, and this is the SQL. So web process navigates to SQL with some credentials. I will show you where those credentials are located. If you go to C drive, this is Windows machine and Microsoft IS. If you go to inetpub 3w root, you will see the PowerGym website. If you navigate to this PowerGym website, you will figure out like scripts. And one more file is web.config. This is the system file from Microsoft Internet Information Server. You cannot have this file via web. If you say type here web.config, it will reply that access denied. Request filtering module has blocked an access to this file. You cannot see. But what's inside this file? Now tell me if you see credentials. What is the name of the server? What is the name of the database? What's the username and what's the password?
Password QWERTY@123.
That's correct. So the password is QWERTY@123. The username is SA.
Yeah.
Could you please translate what is this SA?
It's the admin for SQL Server.
Sysadmin, that's correct. That's sysadmin for SQL. And that's the connection to ch-SQL server. This could be field qualified domain name, IP address, or something, but those are actual credentials. And database is not interesting to me anymore because I have, in this string, I have sysadmin of the whole SQL server. But you see, you cannot have this file directly. Now, the question. You look at the website, you look at the content. How do you update content? Consider your office secretary. How do you put new trainers, new schedule on the web? So the question, what tools you typically use to update the content of a web server?
Some web form.
Excuse me?
Some web form.
Content management system, CMS.
Well,
More. Not web form this time.
Or you can upload the code via FTP.
FTP, that's correct. And one more way, maybe.
Through API.
API. API, okay. You could also use more tools, actually. RDP. Put RDP to a Microsoft server and copy paste the content of the C drive, right? API, I would connect it to CMS or whatever. FTP SSH, something like this. Yeah, so there are plenty of ways to connect to the web server and update its content without the browser, without HTTP. So that's why I will Google a little bit. What I do, I'm going with old good Internet Explorer and go to Google, hoping that this is going to work. Because every day the picture got changed. Sometimes they just simply block you, and that's that. What I will Google is file type config in URL web. So I will Google for file web.config in URL FTP. Because FTP has no such limitations. Go away. So this is how I have Googled. I'm not sure we will have any good results. No, not necessary. Just let me check. Not interesting. Especially this one is good. Not available. What's interesting about GitHub? A lot of developers drop their files directly to GitHub, and not this case maybe. Not interesting. Not interesting. Not interesting. A little bit more interesting. Now checking if I can have some credentials from this. Maybe some keys. The structure of the database. Don't know. Mean password length. What about this one? Is it any good for you? No?
Yeah, seems like credentials and
Connection string. Database, username, password, everything. And let me check if one more URL still works or not. Cannot copy paste. Let me check once again. Devices, shared clipboard, bidirectional. No. No. So they have removed their file in AB Studio CZ. There was the backup file of web.config with many usernames and password. Oh, this one, maybe this is gonna work. Maybe they have changed something in their FTP. But exactly this one was good. Cannot. I think they have limited an access from Latvia, so that's why I cannot open it. I can Google, but cannot open. So I need to install proxy to get to this web file. Anyway, I hope you understand the idea that some credentials could be kept in text files in unencrypted way, and you could just simply Google about them. And the whole idea of Googling of vulnerabilities is so-called Google hacking database. And you need to know what's that, Google hacking database. And you cannot like have the latest discoveries. It could be a good idea to get familiar with Googling of vulnerable documents, vulnerable websites, vulnerable web cameras, and even Excel documents with salaries, passwords, and so on. And even private keys on GitHub. Yeah. So again, this is just an example of how hackers use search engines to get sensitive information. And this is what you are required to know to pass the exam, because on exam, they will ask you, what is this exploitdb.com and what is specifically Google hacking? So this could be your homework to try to Google something about this. Next. Archive.org. It's worth mentioning. Sometimes when previous resources are not available, you could try find this website, web resource on archive.org within Wayback Machine and get the sensitive information. For example, somebody has published their picture, okay, or maybe phone number, maybe some other sensitive information, and then removed from the web. But web remembers everything. Internet never forgets anything. So you could try archive.org to figure out previous version of this website and check if it works. If you can dump sensitive information from the previous removed version of the website. Also could be your homework. Job sites are interesting in a way to establish a relationship with somebody, like to be friends. But basically, you never know if your new friend is actually an attacker or not. You never know. This could be your ex-friend. This could be someone related to your industry. For example, working in some specific industries, such as hacking. I have a lot of, say, friends on Facebook, on LinkedIn. Sometimes they join me. I mean, offer to get connected, and you always like, shall I add this one or not? I don't know. So typically, I have some guys queued in Facebook and LinkedIn. Just simply, I keep their invitations unanswered, just to follow them and watch them to figure out if this is an attacker or not. It happens. Job sites. You could create faked CV for yourself and visit the facility. If you got invited to an interview, physical interview, and a facility, this could be a good idea to come. They will open doors for you. They will, they may describe your job role and your relations within the company, like with another IT guy's boss or whatever. And still, when visiting, you could check their security background. Like, do you have electronic locks? Okay. Do you have cameras? How many Wi-Fi's are there? And so on. So job sites also could be useful for physical attendance. Competitive intelligence, very simple. You buy it as a service, and professionals will do everything for you. I will skip a lot of this. Networks. Let me show you an example of what we do with IP addresses and DNS names. Say I will continue with my local NHLV because I can guarantee some result. Say I'm going to check their domain name and IP address on so-called neighbor engine. Give me a second. I will find this address. I will begin with RipeNet, basically. Do you know what's that, right, Nat? Have you ever heard?
Yes.
On exam, they may ask you about this, about American register, African net, Asian registers, and European reference C IP address register. So the question which I had on my exam was exactly like this. Which authority is responsible for US IP address space? So you need to get familiar with this. Who is? Where is my who is? IP address. I need the IP address, for example, of let's look up set query name server, because I know that for this domain the name server is local, NHLV. So this address. Okay, I see that the responsible company is our local internet IT SRO. IP addresses belong to those guys, to this company. Okay, at least something. Next, I will perform reverse IP to names resolution. In DNSlytics, reverse IP, let it be the IP address of this company. I would like to convert it to a DNS name. And I have found something. In HLV, you already know what's that. Okay, good. But there are more domain names connected, such as English Language Test, LV. Okay, good. Or say this one, that we call LV, which is the mother company of this company. Okay, good. So now I have relations between 3 DNS names, and I will restart my search, restart footprinting of every name. And that's even more. I will go to LinkedIn, I will search for this name, for this name. I will do it in other public sites and so on. So this everything is related and connected. From one domain name, I have figured out 2 more domain names. I will also perform DNS brute force against both, with the purpose to find out more and more information. So I will find all the IP addresses related to those names, all the names related to IP addresses, all the mail servers and their configuration. I will take everything from DNS, and then I will try searching for people. Is this idea clear by the moment? I hope so. So you need to learn this one. They will ask you. Talk about lookup. Let me show you one more example of DNS name lookup. In our country, the local DNS name register, which is not IP address register, as come on, forgot the URL. Give me a second. That's sure. Nick LV. Let it be English. So on Nick LV, we register DNS names. For example, you would like to figure out what is Windows NT.lv. Okay, who is? Agree. And let it be Windows NT.lv. So the name holder is a natural person, just person. And name servers, Microsoft Online. Okay, good. So this is me. If you would like, you could try connecting to me like this. So I'm John Smith. This is my phone number. I have some topic question for you. Could you please do something or answer some question? And I will receive the request from Nick LV that somebody from outside wants to communicate to me. And then I will decide if I do it or not. In some WHOIS databases, it's possible to find out the name of the owner directly. Currently, Nick LV, according to GDPR, has removed all the personal data from WHOIS, from publicly available WHOIS, of course. Possibly for other countries, this could be different. Because you see, what you see in here, it's already outdated. You cannot do this in most of Europe. I suggest you learning about DNS record types. Today we have discussed mail exchanger, name server, text. There is more, such as pointer. You could request the association of DNS name to IP address. CNAME basically is the same as A, just the alias. Go. We will perform ICMP trace. I think, yes, this could be the good time. Let me check on my checklist. Yes, let me check this one. If it still works. Doesn't look so. Oh, yeah. If somebody has moved their DNS domain name, you see that the URL has changed now. So yeah, I cannot show you how it looks like. The URL was like this one, securitytrails.com DNS trails. So you could also find the history, not only of the website, but DNS name. What names were interconnected before, on what IP addresses they located before. So good idea to keep in mind that DNS history could also be interesting. So I'm closing everything what we don't need anymore and go to trace route. Give me a second, checking checklist. Well, why not? Let's prepare for this exercise. We need Wireshark and we need command line. This could be done from any machine with Wireshark. Wireshark comes pre-installed on attacker machine, on web. I will take attacker. So please go to attacker machine, run Wireshark, and have command line in place. No, I don't want an update. Tell me when ready.
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 Good, good, good. All right. Most are ready, so I will continue. I will sniff for ping, packet, and trace route. First, very simple, ping. Ping, for example, 10.20.0203. So I will ping across the network, but I'm not starting it yet because I'm not sniffing yet. So begin, I select Ethernet cable, Ethernet network card, and then begin sniffing. Go. And then I select ping. And this is it, stop. So was it tricky? Was it some magic? On the start screen, you select the Ethernet network card and begin sniffing. At the same time, you ping somebody else's IP address. So I choose to ping across the router. And to find out my traffic, I apply the display filter on top. I type ICMP, enter. So that's the desired result. You ping some neighbor machine, you sniff this traffic and filter ICMP. And tell me when ready.
Yeah, ready.
Ready.
From all of this, I need very few fields at the moment. So I will select request reply. The first request ended in timeout. Okay, it happens. The second request. First, I uncover the IP version 4 layer. This one. So my source IP address 172.20.10, destination 10.20.0203. Good. First field I need is this one. Identification, or what's called in CH material IP ID. If you scroll through your pings and responses, you will find out that this ID is increased one by every next packet. So this ID was 11.35.0. Next one I expect to be 11.35.1. And this is it. The next 11.35.2. Yes, that's correct. The responding party has their own counter. So response IP ID 22.496. I expect the next one could be 22.497. Yes, it is. And the next one 22.498. Yes, exactly. So this is where I get it on IP version 4 layer. Again, this counter typically is increased one by one. And by this, you have the opportunity to figure out if the receiving party has spent more packets. From my conversation, I see that responding party spent packets one by one. No more packets were spent for somebody else, just for me.